On the news tonight, state government calls on community leaders and youths to ensure peace reigns in their domain. Recent concluded Delta State College of Nursing Science examination are judged transparent and competitive. Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority affirms passengers' entitlements to compensation for flight inconveniences. Abroad, U.S. President Joe Biden to apologize to Native American community for atrocities of a 150-year Indian boarding school policy. Good evening and welcome to the Delta Television News at 8. I am Ogaga Ekama. The state government has called on community leaders and youths to desist from any acts capable of breaching the peace in their domain. The special advisor to the governor on peace building and conflict resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, made a call at a meeting with some representatives of Ugolope community, Ukpe local government, at his office in Asaba. Wansadi Otene has details.
The special advisor to the governor on peace building and conflict resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, after hearing the complaints of some of the indigenes that visited him, said parties involved will be reached to hear their own side of the matter.
We've met with them, we've had their own side. They are accusing Mr. Lucky, Goyo, and others over the leadership of the community, over maladministration, over land grabbing, over threat to life, and so many other things. We've heard from them. We've told them that we're going to reach out to the parties involved and hear their own side before we'll be able to bring all of them. The bottom line is how to achieve peace. The bottom line is how the community can be one so that they'll be relating together. Although part of the issues is supposed to do with security matters, supposed to be police matters. But they said that they've reached out to police and yet police have not been able to do anything. But we'll go deeper to look at the matters, having heard from the other people, to know how we can resolve it. Because all of them are brothers and they must live together and they must partner together.
Chief Uzo further said since petition has been written, they need to look at the petition properly to ascertain if the other party are aggressors or not.
We cannot take any decision until we hear from the other people to ascertain the truth. Like if you had me, I'm asking of the Opakowere of the community, whether there are chiefs in the community, and he mentioned 2 chiefs. He also mentioned that there are President General. Asked him about the President General, where he said that the President General is working hand in hand with them. So we reach out to those people to ascertain which is the truth. Whether what he has told us is the actual truth or he's just framing them. We can't pop somebody's head on his absent. We must see the people, interact with them, hear from them, get details of all the allegations they have left. For me, for now, it's an allegation. We cannot work with it until we hear from the other party. And and do our intelligence, carry out our intelligence to ascertain the truth.
Highlight of the visit was the presentation of the petition and some documents to the Special Advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo. Mwasandi Otene reporting.
Has said the recent concluded entrance examination into the College of Nursing Science was transparent and competitive. Dr. Genesiwe made the clarification in Asaba while reacting to a misleading online publication alleging that admission slots were allocated, which was why some candidates of a particular ethnic nationality were not admitted after their participation in the entrance examination. He said admission was based on candidates' performance and those who scored below cutoff mark were not and could not be admitted, assuring that the standard already attained in the admission process shall be sustained in line with the state government's policy on qualitative education. Dr. Genesiwe disclosed that the state policy on education accorded equal opportunity to all qualified persons to be admitted into all categories of schools and institutions of higher learning, devoid of ethnic and tribal sentiments. The bureau chief debunked the fabricated allegation, which according to him was deliberately crafted to cast unmerited aspersions on the state government, saying that admission slots were never allocated and advised those who could not gain admission to work hard in preparation for another opportunity. He said the State Ministry of Health and the State College of Nursing Science did an excellent job in the just concluded entrance examination and subsequent admission of successful candidates. The state governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori, has congratulated a former chairman of the People's Democratic Party PDP Delta State Chapter, Dr. Pius Sinibe, as he clocks 75 years. In a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, Governor Oborevwori stated that existing and potential leaders would continue to be motivated by Captain Sinibe's expertise, experience, and quality counsel for the state's stability. The governor commended the Ijaw leader for his effective leadership in Patani local government area and his proactive contributions to the People's Democratic Party PDP's expansion and advancement in Delta State. He emphasized that future political leaders should strive to uphold the elder statesman's legacy of constantly seeking the welfare of Deltans and all of Nigerians via his unwavering honesty, dedication, and open-mindedness. The governor stated that Dr. Sinibe, at 75 years, exhibited remarkable strength and wisdom that were rare among individuals of his age. Governor Oborevwori prayed God to continue to bless the celebrant with long life, good health, and strength to keep serving him and humanity. The state government, through its Job and Wealth Creation Bureau, has invited interested Deltans to apply for the 2024 cycle of Business Upscale Program, More BizUp. A statement signed by the Director of Public Communication and Functioning Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Theresa Oliko, says the application is open to Deltans between the ages of 21 to 45 years who have registered business located in the state. The statement said the business categories includes information and communications technologies, computer and smartphone maintenance, building and construction services, that is, aluminum profiling, POP, interlocking, tiling, welding and fabrication, electrical and solar installation, handicraft, which includes fashion design, leather work, furniture, and woodwork. Others are personal services, that is hairdressing and makeover, event management, kitchen and confectionery, and industrial cleaning, and audiovisual services, that is cinematography, photography, and graphics design. It added that interested Deltans can apply online through the link www.deltastatemorebizup.net from Monday next week through Friday, November 1, 2024, noting that application is free of charge, or contact the following numbers: 0707 153 3482 or 091 346 29495 for more inquiries. Nigeria has recorded 83 cases of circulating variant poliovirus type 2 across 14 states. The executive director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA Dr. Muyi Aina stated this at a press briefing to mark the 2024 World Polio Day in Abuja. Dr. Aina said Nigeria had been contending with the challenge of the variant since 2021. The NPHCDA boss noted that the government was working together with other development partners to vaccinate children who had never been reached by routine immunization services. The World Health Organization's country representative to Nigeria, Dr. Walter Mulombo, noted that the intense challenge of reaching all children with vaccines was due to persistent violence, concealment, and refusals to climate emergencies. Dr. Mulombo stated that the widespread CVPV2 globally reiterated the reality that as long as polio existed anywhere, all countries would remain at risk. The Cross River State government has discovered 2 new cases of Mpox in Calabar municipality, bringing the number of cases identified in the council to 5. The special advisor to the governor on health, Mr. Ekpo Bassi, disclosed this during an interview with newsmen in Calabar. It was reported that Mpox, a zoonotic disease, is an emerging infectious disease caused by a virus transmitted to humans from infected animals, most commonly rodents. It can spread from person to person. The governor's aide, who is also the incident manager of the Cross River Mpox response, said the cases were discovered on Monday, 21 October, by the state surveillance team, and samples were sent to the National Reference Hospital, Abuja. According to him, the results were received yesterday confirming the cases and advised that while the cases were being managed, they needed to wait for 21 days because the incubation period of the infection was between 21 to 25 days. Mr. Bassi advised residents of the state to avoid eating of not properly cooked bushmeat, maintain high personal hygiene, and open their ears to various enlightenment campaigns carried out by the government to curb the spread of the disease. It will be recalled that the state government, in partnership with the National Mpox Response Team, had visited traditional rulers in Calabar to enlighten them and their subjects on Mpox. The Delta State Secretariat examination for confidential secretaries and secretarial assistants has been scheduled. The Director of Public Communication and Functioning Permanent Secretary in the State Ministry of Information, Mrs. Theresa Oliko, in a statement, said the examination will hold on Monday 18th through Saturday 23rd November 2024 at the Staff Training Center, ICE Road, Asaba at 9 a.m. daily. The venue for those at the Warri axis is Horsey College, Warri. The state monthly sanitation exercise will hold tomorrow. A statement by the Director of Public Communication and Functioning Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Mrs. Theresa Oliko, says there would be no restriction of movement of persons and vehicles during the exercise. The statement urged residents to cut overgrown weed, clear the drainages, and keep their environment clean to prevent the spread of diseases. The statement added that the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Ejiro Jamani, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mini Oseji, staff of the Ministry Task Force on Environmental and relevant authorities would evacuate the resultant waste to approved dump sites. Still to come on the news, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority affirms passengers' entitlement to compensation for flight inconveniences. Details of this and more coming up shortly.
What happens when greed meets desperation?
Yeah.
How far would you go to get what you want?
Even my life is even on the line. So please, help me so that we can get out of this.
How could you do this to me?
A gripping movie inspired by a true life story.
Maybe you could consider other options.
You think I've not done that?
Experience the twist, the betrayal, and the thrill that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Get ready for the movie. The Inside Enemy. The Inside Enemy dropping on Delta on November 1 at 9 p.m. prompt. Don't miss it.
When you come into the Glow Cafe, you're in for a world of treats. Not only can you monitor all your voice and data usage with ease, buy, share, borrow, and gift data and airtime in the smoothest ways, pay for any services of your choice using your airtime or your bank card, and manage or change your tariff plan to any plan you prefer seamlessly. You can also add friends, get sweet rewards, and so much more. Oh, and don't forget, if you ever need to recharge outside the Glow Cafe app, just dial *805# to purchase airtime or data through your bank. So, step into your Glow Cafe today.
Just dial *777# or download the Glow Cafe app today.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the news. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has affirmed that passengers are entitled to compensation for flight delay, cancellation, luggage delay, missing or loss by airlines. The NCAA Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mr. Michael Achimugu, stated this at a news conference in Abuja. He said passengers were entitled to first needs payment of 10,000 naira on domestic flights when passengers' luggage is missing and $170 on international flights while the luggage is being searched for. Mr. Achimugu said the process for compensation for missing luggage commences after the said luggage is declared missing, and any fees paid for that luggage must also be refunded. The director said the refunds for tickets on cancelled or delayed flights should be paid immediately if payment was made in cash or within 14 days. According to him, refunds via means other than cash must be made within 14 days. However, some delay might be experienced from submission of required documents for the passenger. The NCAA Director of Special Duties, Mr. Horatius Egwa, urged passengers to know their rights regarding the aviation sector. Mr. Egwa noted that challenges the authority encountered included lack of awareness among passengers, limited enforcement of consumer rights, inadequate infrastructure, and corruption. The United States President, Mr. Joe Biden, will apologize to the Native American community for the atrocities of a 150-year Indian school policy that aims to culturally assimilate indigenous children. The U.S. President is scheduled to issue the apology from Arizona today. The federal government established Indian boarding schools from 1819 through the 1970s that forcibly removed children from their homes and families. The boarding schools stripped indigenous children of their heritage and tried to assimilate Alaska Native, American Indian, and Native Hawaiian children into white American culture. There were more than 523 government-funded Indian boarding schools throughout the U.S. in the 19th and 20th centuries, as many of the schools were run by churches. Tens of thousands of children were forcibly abducted by the government and sent to schools far from their homes. Indigenous children often faced emotional and physical abuse, including being beaten and starved when speaking their native languages. Turkey's foreign minister will travel to Djibouti next week to attend a Turkey-Africa ministerial meeting and discuss improving cooperation between Ankara and the continent. Turkey, a North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO member, had ramped up its presence and influence in Africa in recent years, increasing trade nearly eightfold, giving diplomatic and military support to some countries, and inking deals in various fields. The officials, speaking on condition of anonymity, said the Djibouti meeting would evaluate a previous conference held in 2021 and discuss possible moves to deepen cooperation. The meeting will be held on November 2 through 3 and will be attended by representatives from 14 African countries, along with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. The mid-level commander in the notorious Lord's Resistance Army rebel group, Mr. Thomas Kyeyelu, has been sentenced to 40 years in prison in Uganda for war crimes including murder, rape, enslavement, torture, and kidnap. Mr. Kwoyelo was convicted, opened new tab of dozens of war crimes in August, the first time an officer of his seniority had been tried by Uganda's judiciary. Founded in the late 1980s with the aim of overthrowing the government, the Lord's Resistance Army rebel group brutalized Ugandans under the leadership of Mr. Joseph Kony for nearly 20 years as it battled the military from bases in northern Uganda. The insurgents carried out horrific acts of cruelty, including rapes, abductions, hacking off victims' limbs and lips, and using crude instruments to bludgeon people to death. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has clarified that the old series of 200, 500, and 1,000 naira banknotes will remain valid indefinitely, refuting claims that the notes would cease to be legal tender by December 31, 2024. In a statement by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Mr. Sidi Hakama, the CBN noted that such reports were false and intended to disrupt the nation's payment system. The CBN reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that all Nigerian banknotes, including both the old and redesigned series, remain in circulation. The Apex Bank reminded the public that the Supreme Court's order for the continued use of old Naira notes alongside the redesigned versions is still in effect. The CBN urged Nigerians to disregard any suggestions that the old series of banknotes will cease to be valid from the end of 2024. It also called on citizens to continue using both old and redesigned Naira notes for transactions and advised them to handle the notes with care to preserve their quality and lifespan. The CBN further encouraged the public to embrace alternative payment channels to ease the demand for physical cash. The announcement followed earlier public speculation and concern in the media over the validity of old Naira notes. Earlier, the House of Representatives called on the CBN to begin the gradual withdrawal of old Naira notes and ensure the availability of new notes in the 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira denominations for Nigerians. The House also urged the Apex Bank to instruct money deposit banks to conduct transactions with their customers using the new Naira notes, initiating the process of phasing out the old currency. The resolution came after the abduction of a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by Honorable Victor Ogene, the representative of Ogbaru Federal Constituency in Anambra State, during yesterday's plenary session. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, has said the circumstances surrounding the crash of the Sikorsky SK-76 helicopter from its destination in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, yesterday remains unknown. The Bureau said that a preliminary report of the accident would be out within 30 days. It was reported that 3 people reportedly lost their lives yesterday after the helicopter dished into the waters. The accident occurred at 11:22 a.m. along the waterways. The Sikorsky SK-76 with registration 5NBQG, which was operated by East Wind Aviation, was en route from Port Harcourt Military Base to the Naimatan Oil Rig. NSIB Director General Mr. Alex Bade Jr. told newsmen that the helicopter crashed 1 kilometer to its destination. A total of 8 persons were confirmed on board, but 3 bodies have been recovered. In sports, 4-time lawn tennis Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka of Japan has pulled out of next week's Pan Pacific Open in Tokyo today because of a back injury. The former world #1 has been sidelined since she retired from her last 16 match at the China Open against eventual champion Coco Gauff at the start of the month. She then pulled out of this week's Japan Open in Osaka. The 27-year-old was set to compete at the Pan Pacific Open as a wild card, but organizers said she would be absent because of a lower back injury. Osaka's appearance at the China Open was her first tournament under Patrick Mouratoglou, the Frenchman best known for being Serena Williams' longtime former coach. She has struggled for consistency since returning to tennis in January after the birth of her daughter Shai in July 2023. Her best results since becoming a parent have been 2 quarterfinal appearances. China's Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen, ranked number 7 in the world, is the top-ranked player at the Pan Pacific Open. Russia's Daria Katsakina and Brazil's Beatriz Maya were also set to compete. The Executive Director of Projects on the Governing Board of the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the SOPADEC, Honorable Taleb Tebait, has been laid to rest. The ceremony was attended by the SOPADEC's top officials, family and friends who celebrated his life of unwavering kindness, dedication and impactful contributions to the Commission and the states at large. The funeral service held at the All Saints Anglican Cathedral, Otoeweko. Speaking to newsmen at the ceremony, the SOPADEC Governing Board Chairman, Chief John Nani, described Honorable Tibite as a compassionate leader whose hands were full of kindness. Noting that he gave not from abundance, but from what he had, always striving to bring satisfaction to others. Chief Nani urged people to emulate Honorable Tibite's example and consider the legacy they would leave. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer at the SOPADEC, Chief Festus Ochonogo, hailed Honorable Tibite's dedication to peace and stability within the Commission. He said the deceased ensured stability within the Commission, which was crucial as without peace, stability and tranquility, little could be achieved. Chief Ochonogo noted that Honorable Tibite's expertise in troubleshooting, peace building, and initiating impactful programs across various mandate areas and expressed sorrow over his passage, acknowledging his exceptional approach, charitable nature, and commitment to teamwork. The Executive Director of Finance and Administration, the SOPADEC, Chief Ogenekome Akobo, also highlighted Honorable Tibite's role in simplifying complex tasks and contributing wisdom during management meetings. Over now to the thought for the day. The more I live, the more I am convinced that happiness is the product of contentment. To end the news, here again are the main points. The state government has called on community leaders and youths to desist from any act capable of breaching the peace in their domain. The special advisor to the governor on peace building and conflict resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, made a call at a meeting with some representatives of Ugolokwe community, Ukwe local government, at his office in Asaba. The Director General, Delta State Orientation and Communication Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogenesiwe, has said the recent concluded entrance examination into the State College of Nursing Science was transparent and competitive. Dr. Ogenesiwe made a clarification in Asaba while reacting to a misleading online publication alleging that admission slots were allocated, which was why some candidates of a particular ethnic nationality were not admitted after their participation in the entrance examination. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) has affirmed that passengers are entitled to compensation for flight delay, cancellation, luggage delay, missing or loss by airlines. The NCAA Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mr. Michael Achimugu, stated this at a news conference in Abuja. And abroad, the United States President, Mr. Joe Biden, will apologize to the Native American community for the atrocities of a 150-year Indian boarding school policy that aims to culturally assimilate indigenous children. The U.S. President is scheduled to issue the apology from Arizona today. That's the news. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ogaga Ikama. Good evening.